I was gonna give you a tour of our cabin, or shed, I should say, and kind of explain to you what we plan on doing with it on the inside. For some of you that are new here, Savannah and I are best friends. We moved from Nashville here. We started out with 5 acres of raw land. We've had it cleared. We are currently living in a camper that we borrowed from a friend, which is very kind, while we work on getting our housing sorted out. So today, I'm going to show you kind of what our plan is for the shed that we got delivered about a couple of weeks ago. The shed is a 12 by 32 by Old Hickory Buildings. We ordered it and it took them about 4 weeks. They have some that are already made that you can go onto their lot and buy, but there were certain specifications that we wanted, so we ended up custom ordering it. All right, let's go inside. This is our shed, our home. We plan on dividing this space into thirds. It's just going to be an open space. We will eventually build on, but for now, it's just gonna be one open space. This is our living room. We will plan on getting this chair recovered, but this is just the furniture we have now. We actually just got this couch. So we plan on putting a large window behind here. We actually had one back at our old house. So it's gonna go right above the couch. And we'll have, you know, a rug, coffee table. Probably actually instead of doing a coffee table, we're gonna do a bench so it's gonna be extra seating. And then this is our cubic mini stove. It's not installed yet. It is the Grizzly, which is the larger of the two, though not very large. So that's our next big project, is to get that installed. And it can heat up to, I think, 400 square feet. It depends on, you know, how tall your ceilings are and so on and so forth. We will see, you know, how that works. We may have to get a bigger one, but for now, we really like the way that it looked, and we watched a lot of videos in tiny homes where they were hooked out because they got too big of a stove. So that's our plan for now. When we add on in the future, we'll address heating those spaces at a different time. We do hope to get a mini split for air conditioning at the very least. So right now we don't have the electrical for that. So you probably noticed there were no windows in this entire space. And that is because even though we can get them built with the shed, the builder only had 2 size options, and they were actually too small for what we wanted, and also about twice as much as installing it yourself. So that's our plan. We're gonna do 2 big windows in the front on each side of the door. We'll show you a mock-up here. Here, this is the start of the kitchen area. So this will be a countertop and a countertop till about right here. We will have a door that goes to the outside, right by the couch. And there's gonna be 2 windows here and 2 windows here. And we're kind of figuring out where all of our appliances are gonna go. And then we're gonna have a table to sit at, to eat at, right around this area. We plan on having a ton of shelving, and the kitchen's gonna be a work in progress. It's one of the most expensive pieces in a house to build. So we're kind of trying to figure out exactly what that's gonna look like. And but we need a lot of storage. We have a ton of jars of canned food that we would like to all be stored nicely. Hopefully we can get a root cellar where things like that can go, but for now, in our kitchen. Now I'm gonna take you to this sleeping area. I hesitate to call it a bedroom because it's gonna be wide open. So we spent the most time agonizing over in the bedroom. We're 2 women who would like to have our own individual spaces, but for now, we are going to have our own bed. So we'll have a bed here and a bed here. We were trying to figure out how we could both have at least a full-size bed. And in order to do that, you would have to do one on the floor and then put one up on the wall. And that's just gonna involve, it's just gonna take a longer to get there, and we are ready to move in. We are grateful to have our friend's camper. It is not ours, and it's cramped, so 2 twin beds for the time being is going to get us in here sooner, so that's what we've compromised on doing. The eventual plan is to add on here, and then this could be a totally separate bedroom, and then there will be another bedroom over here, and hopefully just like a powder room. We don't plan on having a full bathroom in the house because we actually have a bathhouse, which I'll show you in a minute, but it would be nice to just have a toilet and a place to wash your hands in the house. But that's in the addition, which we really hope happens sooner than later, but there are a few other projects that seem a little more pressing. In the meantime, to create a more bedroom-like atmosphere, we were probably gonna hang a curtain so that we can close that off, because I don't necessarily keep my room guest clean, if you know what I'm saying. If someone comes over, my room's kind of messy. So I'd like to just be able to close the door, close the curtains for something like that. And also, just so it's not weird, like someone's just sitting in your bedroom. We also plan on putting, I think, just like a clothing rack. We don't want to do anything built in because we don't even have insulation yet. So obviously, you may be wondering, I have not addressed that, why we have flooring and not insulation and walls. It's just kind of how it worked out. In order to get in here as quickly as possible, we knew that we had to have flooring. You can't really walk around on your subfloor for very long. And we don't have all of our components together for solar. We weren't ready to wire yet in order to get insulation. So in order to get in here as quickly as possible, we're just kind of making do, obviously. And we're not 100% sure how we want to finish the walls. We were originally going to do wood on the walls, but cost may change that. I think we're going to do wood on the ceiling. You know, lots of decisions to be made and everything. It's kind of budget and time. All those things go into that decision. So all of that to say, just probably like a temporary clothing rack. We'll have storage under our beds. We're gonna put the beds up high enough so we can put drawers under there. We've kind of learned to live with very little in the camper because there's basically no storage in there. So I think we'll be okay. Something else we hope to fit in this area is a desk. Might be very small, but we just want a place for us to run our business. Savannah hopes to have a dedicated space where she can work and edit videos, and we both sew, though Savannah more than me, so just someplace we could set something like that up. So these ceilings the walls are 8 feet high. So we have these, this area up here which could be a potential storage, but we don't want to lose the height. So we've talked about kind of building some sort of loft up here just for storage. So it would just be, in either corner of the house, but not necessarily something that goes all the way across and is closed off. So that's something else that we're thinking about doing to add some more storage. You saw this lovely door, which was a great find. We actually got it at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. It's basically where people donate building goods, building materials, and we got it for 12 bucks. So I love it. I love the 3 panes. I love everything about it. We did accidentally break a piece of glass down here, but we're able to replace it for another $12. It was also a little small for the space, but we were able to make it work. Savannah rigged it up really nice, and it looks great. So obviously we painted it. It was, I think, white out here, and we're probably gonna paint, well, we're not sure. We've talked about stripping it just to put it a different color tone wood. We've talked about painting it. I'm not 100% sure. This door handle, I cannot recommend this enough. So we actually first got this type of key lock at our house in Nashville when we had Airbnb. It was just a lot easier to give people a code than keeping up with keys because people lost them a lot. So even after we stopped doing Airbnb, we got so used to using a code and we were like, I'll never go back. You can change the code anytime you want. So if you feel like you've given your code out one too many times, it's really easy to change the code. The other thing, someone expressed concern that if you lost your power, would you get locked out of your house? It's actually just battery operated. So it lets you know for a very long period of time, for days and days and days, when your battery is running low. So that never happened to us in the probably 4 years that we had it. We never got locked out. All of that to say, this is not sponsored, but I love it and I highly recommend it. It just makes, you just don't have to worry about it. I wish they still did it on cars, honestly. I think they used to, but they stopped doing it. Okay, so I talked to you about the bathhouse. Let me show you where we are on that project. When we have the back door, we'll just walk straight out of the back door to where the bathhouse is, but we don't, so for now, we will go out here. So this is our work area. It is kind of chaotic, and just look past that. So this is where you'll walk out of the house, and you'll just walk right here to the bathroom. So this building is 8 by 8, and we decided to do a clear plastic roof that is about 3/4 finished. We ran out of roofing screws and then it rained. So we haven't gotten the chance to put the last bit on. We did that because we wanted it to be kind of like a greenhouse, bathhouse. We love plants and we would love for this to be filled with plants. And I just kind of thought it was cool. So we're also gonna have some of that same roofing material we're going to use at the top on 3 of the 4 sides. And this is a little bit of LP Smart Side that we've painted. Obviously, we've got a lot of work to do. It needs trim, and we're going to put some pieces of wood going like this so it looks a little nicer. It'll be like board and batten. The toilet is going here in this corner. Very excited about what we're doing for our toilet. If you've never heard of a vermicomposting toilet, look into it. We'll definitely be doing a lot of videos on that. But essentially, we will have a real flushing toilet and it filters through a system and worms eat your poo. It's pretty cool. And they'll eat the toilet paper and everything. It's really cool. So you essentially have created your own septic system for not very much money at all. We'll also have a vanity over here. This is all going to be covered in siding, and these are going to be 2 windows. Here is going to be the bathtub shower, and then we'll eventually going to put a wood stove in here. The walls are going to be just as they are. We're eventually going to insulate them down here and then cover that up. But all of the top part is going to be just clear and open. We will be collecting rainwater so that all of the system will be using rainwater. Shouldn't use a ton of electricity. The only electricity we're going to need in here is in order for the water pump so that you can turn the water faucet on and the shower on. And we'll have a little bit of lights, but thankfully it won't be a huge energy need because we're going to be heating with propane. So we'll have like a tankless propane water heater. We'll have a little bit of storage here in this corner. The cats use this as their personal jungle gym. Okay, so this is going to be our fenced-in backyard area. We have 2 little dogs. I'd love to be able to open the door and feel comfortable with them just running free and knowing that they can't get out. We do have coyotes and other wildlife around here, so that's why we're out in the middle of nowhere fencing in a backyard. So if you've also noticed, there's absolutely no grass. We look forward to having some of that. So this will all be grass. So this area will be the garden. I'm not exactly sure where it'll start, but the camper will obviously be gone. We're eventually going to take that tent down. Right now that tent is our storage unit. It's just something we already had laying around. Hopefully we can grow a few things this year. We had a pretty good sized garden at our old house. I'm just not exactly sure how much gardening we're going to be able to do because we have so many projects and we have nothing worked out. We also need to get our soil tested to see if we can plant directly in the ground or if we're going to need to do raised beds. There's a lot up in the air about the garden, but this is the general area where it's going to be. And lastly, on our tour and our plans, this is what we call daycare. The painted building is the chicken coop, which we are actually going to be releasing plans on how to build it. I really love it. I think the design is done really well, and it's actually pretty easy to build. We had chickens at our house in Nashville. It was about half the size of that, and we just kind of learned a few things about the way we designed it then, that we did it just a little bit better this next time around. So I think it's the perfect chicken coop. And then this building is our cat house. They sleep in there at night. We just lock them up in there so that they have a safe place to be. They wouldn't necessarily put themselves in there, so I do shut them up when it gets dark. This is a platform that we had already made. It actually held what our bathroom was, which was a tent where our shower and our composting toilet was. Well, if you saw in, I think, the last video, it collapsed. So it's just our makeshift deck right now, but we do plan on having a whole deck here and a roof over that. So it'll be a covered porch area, I guess you should say. But this is just what we have for right now. We certainly haven't gone through all of our plans. We definitely hope to have an Airbnb somewhere. We have lots and lots of plans, lots of vision. The things I've discussed in this video is kind of the immediate, what we're thinking about, what's the most important. So we have a lot of videos to come up. We still have to do solar. We still have to do our rainwater system. Lots of plans. There'll be a ton of videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tour and our future vision. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you next Sunday.